2% cashback on a $100 purchase sounds like you just made $2. Wrong. What actually happened is that $100 left first, then $2 walked back in wearing a tiny little victory hat. And somehow, the brain looks at the smallest number in the whole transaction and goes, nice, we are financially dangerous now. So before we call cashback smart or stupid, we have to ask the annoying question. Did the reward follow the purchase, or did it help create it? Okay, so this is where people who love cashback get very defensive, and honestly, some of them are right. If you were already buying the thing, at the same price, from the same store, at the same time, with the same boring little basket, then cashback is just a rebate, not magic, not income, just a small discount arriving after the fact with better branding. The disciplined version is simple. The plan comes first, the purchase follows, and cashback politely shows up at the end, like it was invited. The dangerous version flips the order. Now the reward appears first, and suddenly you are changing the store, moving the timing, adding one more item, or convincing yourself that spending more is somehow a saving strategy. That is the line. Cashback is useful when it follows the decision, and suspicious when it starts making decisions. And the reason this matters is that an entire rewards economy does not get this big, because tiny positive numbers do nothing. And once you zoom out, cashback stops looking like a cute little bonus feature and starts looking like plumbing. According to the CFPB, by 2019, more than 90% of general-purpose credit card spending was already happening on rewards cards. By the end of 2022, 75% of general-purpose credit cards were rewards cards. So this is not some weird side quest for people who own 17 spreadsheets and say maximize value at brunch. Rewards have become the default architecture of how a huge amount of card spending works. And in 2022, consumers earned more than $40 billion in rewards from major general-purpose credit cards. That sounds generous, right? Well, not quite, because companies do not accidentally build a $40 billion reward machine out of pure emotional warmth. If rewards are everywhere, the real question is not whether the system gives something back, it is what behavior all that giving back quietly buys. So, what behavior does all that giving back buy? Well, first you have to notice the ground cashback lands on, because it does not arrive in some perfectly rational little finance monastery. It arrives at checkout, where the card has already done something very useful for spending. It separates the fun of getting the thing from the discomfort of paying for the thing. The item is immediate, the bill is future use, little administrative adventure. Research on card payments keeps finding the same annoying pattern. People are often willing to spend more, leave with bigger baskets, and remember the product benefits more clearly than the costs. A classic MIT study found willingness to pay could rise by up to 100% when people were told to use a credit card instead of cash. Not because the item became twice as good, because the payment format changed how loud the cost felt in the moment. So cashback does not enter a neutral brain. It enters a checkout where the price is already slightly quieter than it should be. And once the cost gets quieter, the reward does not need to be huge to start moving behavior. In one large card dataset, Agarwal, Ang, Wang, and Zhang looked at what happened when people joined a cashback rewards program. The promotion was only 1% cashback, which sounds almost insultingly small. The kind of number you would ignore if it appeared on a weather app. But spending on the card went up by 32%. Debt went up by 8%. And the researchers also found shopping momentum. People made about 0.25 to 0.27 more purchases than before the promotion. Now, a quarter of a purchase sounds weird, because no one walks out of a store holding 25% of a toaster. But across millions of accounts, that decimal is the machine turning. The uncomfortable point is this. A tiny reward can move a much larger spending system, because it is not just paying you back, it is nudging you forward. But the strangest part is not just that people spend more chasing the reward. It is what happens when the reward finally shows up later, pretending to be new money. An instant discount is boring in a useful way. The price drops right there. The receipt is smaller. Everyone goes home emotionally stable. Delayed cashback is different. The purchase is already over. The pain has faded. And then a little notification appears like a bonus from the universe's accounting department. Vena, Lamberst, and Bertini found that an extra $1 of cashback increased future spending through the cashback site by about 32 cents on average. That is not a massive number by itself, but that is exactly the point. The cashback is being mentally filed as a tiny windfall, not as the same money that was already missing from the original purchase. So the reward does not just close the first transaction. It can open the next one, which is a very polite way for a discount to become a loop. And this is where cashback quietly stops being just cash. Because reward systems rarely stop at, here is $2 back, please enjoy accounting. They turn spending into points. Miles, bonuses, gift cards, partner transfers, checkout credits, and several other tiny currencies with suspiciously cheerful names. Basically, money-like objects inside a company terrarium. And that matters, because cash is boring in one beautiful way. A dollar is still a dollar when you try to use it. Points are different. The CFPB notes that issuers and loyalty programs often reserve the right to change reward values, including at redemption. So you can earn something that still has to pass through the company's little customs office before it becomes useful. And once rewards become company-controlled units, the next question is not just how much you earned, it is who is actually good at escaping the maze. And this is where the story gets more uncomfortable, because some people really do beat the system. If you pay in full, track the rules, avoid interest, redeem well, and treat rewards like a rebate, congratulations, you have defeated the tiny corporate obstacle course. But the system does not only contain those people. A Federal Reserve paper estimated about $15 billion a year in redistribution through credit card rewards, generally from poorer to richer consumers, less educated to more educated consumers, and high minority to low minority areas. Pretty grim for something advertised with balloons and a smiling cashback badge. The same research found that more sophisticated consumers can profit from rewards cards, while more naive consumers end up with higher unpaid balances. And once a balance is carried, the math stops being cute very quickly. A 2% reward is not doing heroic battle against an APR around 21.52% on interest-assessed U.S. credit card accounts in February 2026. So the system can be technically beatable and still be harmful at scale. Which is exactly why the usual advice starts to feel a little incomplete. That is why the clean rule matters more than the little percentage badge. Same price, same place, same timing, same basket. The boring commandments, sadly. If the reward shows up after that plan, fine. Take the $2, enjoy the tiny confetti cannon. But if the reward changes the store, the timing, the item, the basket, or the payment behavior, then we are not looking at savings anymore. We are looking at a reward for following the spending path. The purchase came first. The card made the cost quieter. The cashback made the reward louder. And the app may even point you back for round 2. Then points, miles, and rules turn the whole thing into a loyalty maze, where the best players can win and everyone else may be paying for the party. So the real-time test is simple. Did cashback follow the plan, or did cashback create the plan? Because those are very different transactions wearing the same tiny happy notification. So when that cashback notification pops up again, plus $2 back, it should feel a little less like a trophy. It is not proof that the purchase was smart. It is proof that after the larger transaction happened, the system handed back a crumb and taught the crumb to sparkle. The receipt is still the main document. Annoying. Rude. Undefeated. If cashback comes after a decision you already made, fine, that is a discount with extra steps. Take it. But when the reward shows up first and starts giving the purchase permission, the story changes. Now it is not rewarding saving, it is rewarding motion through the spending machine. Cashback can be the coupon after the decision, or it can be the cute little trigger before it, and that difference is basically the whole game.